Hello students, this is high time for the submission of your synopsis for master's research and PhD research as well. So now there are a lot of issues which are faced by the students while submitting this synopsis in IGNOU. So, synopsis preparation is a very simple kind of activity, but there we commit some, you can say, very simple mistakes. What are those mistakes? We do not review the literature. What we understand by research? Research. We are searching something again and again. Why we are searching? Because there are some lacunae, there are some gap of knowledge. To fill that gap of knowledge, we need new researches, and these new researches, when these new researches will be new, when we will have a fresh topic, but our topic for the synopsis is rejected a number of times. I have seen in IGNOU, but why that rejection is there, so high rejection is there? Because we choose some monotonous topic, we pick that topic from internet directly. We do not, you can say, work hard for that. We have to go through the literature very carefully, choose one topic, and that one topic must be different from all other topics in the universe. How it will be different? Because you are getting some new information, some new, you want to you can say, you want to add to the knowledge. And how that knowledge gap will be filled? When you will add something new, and that something new can be traced only when we go through the published literature very carefully. And what is the method to go through that literature? We can go to PubMed, we can go to Google Scholar, and there are a number of research engines are there. And with that, we have to write the synopsis in a very clear cut, crystal clear manner. What is that clarity? That clarity is, it should be written chapter wise, first topic, and other formalities like name of the student, name of the guide, registration number, etc., etc., and the name of the university on the front page. From second page, we will start with what? Introduction. And that is very concise introduction, and it must be embedded, it must be connected. Each paragraph is connected with the previous one. If it is not connected, that means we have not searched the literature, and our synopsis will be straightway rejected. After that, through that introduction, we have to prove that there are something which is left behind by the previous researchers, and we have to define it in the last paragraph, that importance of this particular research, why we are going to conduct such an research. So after that, we will go to the second chapter. Second chapter is that of review of literature, and that review of literature, it is also very concise. In a synopsis, for a PhD synopsis, introduction, it might be like 3 to 4 pages, and in for dissertation you can keep the introduction for 2 pages. And again, review of literature, second chapter, for a PhD synopsis, you should have at least 6 to 7 pages, and for dissertation synopsis, you can have 3 to 4 pages. And that's true. if there are different components in our research problem, so the review literature must be under those different headings, and again it must be connected. There is certain way to write a review, so we should not deviate from that view. We should follow the APA, American Psychological Association's guideline. These guidelines are freely available on the internet. These are free of cost. So we should go through those guidelines, and if we prepare our topic, our synopsis as per those guidelines, it will not be rejected. Then after completion of this second chapter, review of literature, there comes the third chapter, which is very important, methodology. Methodology is in itself, it is very important, because if we are not in a position to tell the reviewer that we are getting the sample, how much will be the number, from which geographical area the sample will be taken, what will be the age group, what will be our inclusion and exclusion criteria, what are the objectives, do we need an hypothesis, and if we need an hypothesis, what kind of hypothesis it will be, and how we will control the errors. And after that, we have to select very carefully the instruments, or you can say psychological tests to be used, and these tests should be standardized. We have to write each and every reference from where we are getting the information, and that reference too must be in APA style. After writing all these steps, then comes statistical analysis. The reviewer will ask you what method will you imply or apply to analyze the data. Why you have taken such a small sample size? Why you selected such age group? Why you selecting this? Why you are selecting this particular geographical area? So these are the very simple question. If you have gone through the researches very carefully, you will be able to answer these questions. Otherwise, your topic will be rejected. Then comes analysis. Through this analysis part, this is a part of third chapter, methodology, last topic. So in the analysis, you have to tell which are the methods you will imply or apply to analyze your data. So if you are able to defending your analysis techniques, that means your reviewer will be in a position to understand that these students or this student has worked very hard, and his research proposal should be accepted. And in the last, you have to write what? References. So everything you have to write in the next chapter, that is references, and you have to write everything means from introduction to review to test. From where you are getting, you have to give the names of the people, and you have to avoid plagiarism. You cannot copy and paste. You can read some paper and you will write in your own language. You will rephrase it. After rephrasing, you will put this paragraph in the form of introduction or review of literature, but again you will give the reference name or credit to the person from whose research you are quoting these inputs. So after that, your synopsis is complete. So if you talk about the pages for dissertation synopsis, pages are around 10, 12 to 16 to 18, and for a PhD it must be like 30-35 pages. So this is very simple, but if you follow step-by-step procedures, then chances of rejecting, they are very low. And if you are not following the steps, then your topic will be asked for revisions a number of times. So to avoid this, you should follow the APA guidelines, and you should be very critical of yourselves that I am writing this. Are there any problems? Are there any errors? So, and if you are critical of yourself, you will be able to understand the basic steps in synopsis formation. So this is the introductory lecture, or introductory you can say some information regarding synopsis preparation. So I can finally say best of luck to all of you. Thank you.